It is wedding season, and our wedding expert has some advice on etiquette. Alison McGill joins us this morning because it can be kind of tricky because for the couple, it's their huge day, it's their everything. And sometimes for a guest or an attendant, it's kind of like, okay, we're happy to celebrate, but it's not all encompassing, right?
Exactly. And etiquette is one of those things that never goes out of style. And certainly with weddings, there's always lots of questions. So I am a wedding expert for the kit, and I often answer wedding etiquette questions. So I thought it would be fun to bring some really key ones that get asked repeatedly for us to chat about today, because it's on everyone's mind.
Yes. Okay, let's start off with the invitation then. One arrives and it just has your name on it. What does that mean?
Right. Right. So that means it's just for you. You can't bring a plus one. And people are uncomfortable with the fact that they have to go to a wedding by themselves. Understood. It's a big social occasion. We're in a different time now with COVID. There's lots of reasons why people do just a single invitation. It could be guest restrictions we've been dealing with, could be a smaller wedding, could be a budget. But don't try and sneak in a guest. That's the number one thing. And we've all heard of wedding crashers, and that's just not cool. So the thing to do, if you're uncomfortable, maybe table it with the couple and say, if an opportunity happens to come up that I could bring a guest, I would love to. But go into it with an open mind. And you know what? Single guests can have a lot of fun at a wedding. You meet lots of new friends and be open for adventure.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that that this is maybe a little bit more acceptable now, having just come out of the pandemic and all the restrictions? People understand that weddings are smaller now.
Well, Annette, we would hope so, wouldn't we? But people still get a little flustered and irritated, and everyone's always in a different headspace. So just be mindful of that. There's a reason why, and it's not done with malice.
Okay. What if you get asked to stand up and maybe you can't, or maybe you don't want to?
Right, declining being a bridesmaid or in the groomsmen party. This is a good one because everyone's not comfortable with it. They don't like the attention on themselves, and perhaps it's just not your wheelhouse, which is very common for a lot of people. Can you say no? You can. Be delicate in how you handle this situation. I always say, if you can't do this job, maybe I can help you out with another job, helping planning, DIY. There's lots of tasks that go into a wedding. So making yourself available for another task is a great way to handle this. But be prepared. It could be emotional. It could be a bit sensitive, and people can get offended. But again, let's go back to, let's be kind to each other. We've been through a time that we're more understanding.
Maybe you could do a reading or something like that.
Exactly. Or, there's lots of jobs in a wedding. We know that. There's lots of work to be done.
Right. And because you think too about, sometimes it's the expense, right? Just coming out and saying, sorry, I'd love to, but I can't afford to get a dress and the shoes and the hair and the makeup.
Exactly. It comes with an investment. There's lots of reasons why people would say, I'm sorry, I can't do this for you, but I can do something else for you.
Okay. What about, speaking of money, cash gifts? We've been to a few weddings where they've asked for cash.
Yes. So can you ask for cash? This is probably the top question that gets asked. It's, in several cultures, that is the norm and the tradition, and it's not for others. So if you are someone who is thinking that you would like cash gifts for your wedding, can you outright ask for them? No, but you can stick handle the situation a little bit. You can maybe plant a little seed with friends and family saying, you're saving for a home or a dream honeymoon. It's really putting purpose towards what the gift is going towards. And I think that makes it feel less entitled, and it has purpose behind it. And, a lot of couples actually want donations. They want monetary gifts so they can donate to a cause that's special to them. So, it's not an easy one to navigate, but you're certainly not going to write on an invitation, cash gifts, please.
Mm-hmm. Although you're right, culturally. So maybe if you're going to a wedding that's kind of outside your culture, ask, like, what do you do for a wedding gift?
Absolutely. And that's a great point, Annette. With all these things we're talking about, don't be afraid to ask. Like, you can't communicate with people. We don't need to have everything be so loaded and explosive with these questions. I mean, we're all trying to navigate a situation.
Okay, here's one, though, that you cannot say no to, and that's do I need to send a thank you card?
Absolutely. So I don't know. I've had an experience where I went to a wedding and I never received a thank you. And quite frankly, it's still stuck with me 10 years later. I don't know if the couple ever got the gift. There's a lot of things that come with this. Do you need to send a thank you note? You absolutely do. You need to be gracious. You need to have gratitude. It can be a digital created one. It doesn't have to be handwritten, although I am a proponent of that because
Me too.
how often do we get handwritten notes in the mail anymore? It's so rare, and it's an opportunity to take 5 minutes, do a heartfelt note, send it in the mail. Do not send an email. Do not send a text. Do not send a DM. This is where we need to be formalized.
This is where we need to be formalized. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Lots of great advice, and we'll get your links to your socials up on our website, chch.com. Thank you, Alison.
Thanks, Annette. Always great to see you.